Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time joining us on this channel, thank you so much for clicking onto this video, and if you're a returning subscriber, I would like to also thank you very much for subscribing into our channel. If you're new, please hit the subscription bell and also hit the notification bell so that you will be alerted each time we post a video. So on this particular video we will be explaining the term. I'll be giving a simple definition, or I'll be trying to elaborate more into what bilateral relations mean. Okay, I wasn't planning to release any political content as yet because I wanted to be comfortable in front of the camera and get to understand how the YouTube space work and get to understand just the fundamentals and the basics of YouTube before I can start releasing political content. But then there has been a trending topic. There has been news that are doing the rounds in the political space, as well as the social media and on big television news broadcasters. So this morning I was also listening to Radio 2000, and they had a conversation, or they had an interaction with the listeners as well as the Minister of Water and Sanitation around the issue of the appointment of 24 Cuban engineers who were brought to South Africa to assist with the ailing infrastructure of our water and sanitation in South Africa. Well, the arrival of the 24 Cuban engineers has not been welcomed very well by the South African citizens, and the citizens have their own reasons, and the government also has their set of reasons as to why they took this particular decision. But guys, please stick around and watch the whole video so that by the end of this video you will be able to understand as to what reasoning the government used to take this particular decision, even in the midst of our economic crisis, even during the pandemic, where we know that most young people, young professionals are unemployed, and they have the skills and the qualifications to do more or less the same job that the Cuban engineers are doing. And by the end of this video, you will have a clue as to what the term bilateral relations means. So let's start by defining the term. The term bilateral relation simply means the economic, political, or cultural relations that two or more sovereign states has with each other. So in simple terms, bilateral relations is just a relationship that two states have. It can either be political, it can be economical, or it can be cultural. If it's economical, then it is going to include economical free trade. It's going to include the relation in terms of the market trading. It's like there is a lot of countries that South Africa has economic bilateral relations with. And then if it's political, you will see that South Africa will have an ambassador in that particular country who will be responsible for facilitating conversations and dialogues and communicating anything that has to do with South Africa and that particular country. I'm just going to give a brief example when it comes to political bilateral relations. So during the COVID-19 pandemic, we locked down our country. However, we still had South Africans that were based in international countries. Our Minister of International Relations had to use those channels of political bilateral relations, to communicate with those international countries via our ambassador and see how best they can assist South Africans that were trapped in those international countries. So maintaining good bilateral relations is very, very, very critical for each and every sovereign state. So that is just a typical example. Another example of an economic bilateral relation can be the relation between the South African economic market and the Arab market. The purchase of oil, the transportation, the easy transportation, and so forth. We are having a lot of bilateral relations. In fact, we have relations with almost everyone. The Cuban one, the one that is in everyone's tongue currently. So we all know that we have doctors that are specifically trained at Cuba from South Africa. So South Africa has an exchange program or a student exchange program whereby there is a certain number of students that are taken from South Africa to Cuba to do their medical studies in Cuba, and they come back after having those degrees, or they come back when the contract ends for them to come and maybe complete their studies in South Africa. There's another way how South Africa and Cuba has been working together. So during the pandemic, again, another example, the South African Department of Health had the Cuban doctors coming into South Africa to assist with the COVID-19 response. That is another example of how the South African and Cuban relation has assisted in achieving something positive that the two sovereign states has agreed upon. So that is another example. So now let's come to the topic, because I have kind of like tried to explain to you what bilateral relations means. Let's come to the topic at hand. Young people are asking, why would the government get Cuban engineers when we have South African engineers that are unemployed? Why would the government spend over 64 million rands to get Cuban people to come and work in South Africa, whereas we have people who really need that 64 million? We already have unemployed graduates. Why are we not getting those unemployed graduates to come and assist with this project? We already have graduates who are in the rural areas, who understand South Africa, who understand the South African needs, who understand the South African society. Why are we not rather having them being assisted by retired engineers who have the expertise and the skills, and those retired engineers just do a skills transfer that then we will also make sure that going forth, even after this project, we'll still have engineers that has sufficient knowledge. Then the government's response to that is, according to the Minister of Water and Sanitation, an advertisement was posted. An advertisement was out, even on Radio 702, and only 5 people responded to the call, according to her. Our infrastructure has been ailing for a long period of time. Why didn't any patriotic engineer come and approach the government to assist with this project? The minister said, due to the bilateral relations, this was an agreement that was done a long time ago since 2001. So this is not a new project. It was planned already. And then she also emphasized that the 64 million is not per se to say the government is going to pay those engineers 64 million for the duration or the period of time that they will be here in South Africa. And she said that the 64 million also has to cover their accommodation, they have to feed them, they have to make sure that they're safe, and they also have to remunerate the people, the locals who are going to be working with those engineers. She also highlighted that those engineers are coming here with a certain set of skills that some engineers in South Africa do not possess. And those Cuban engineers are going to then transfer their skills to the South African engineers. So here is my analysis. I think now, currently, we are not in the position of getting anyone from any country whatsoever. It doesn't really have to be from Cuba, from any country. We are not in the position of doing this. It's like we are rubbing salt into the wound. We are not being considerate of how South Africans might feel about this. And our government in general don't have an open communication policy, to be honest. Had this been advertised on national TV, the way that government would advertise or campaign for whatever they want to campaign for, then our engineers would have known. And I'm very sure we do have South African engineers who are skilled enough to be doing that particular job. So I hope from this particular video you will be able to then understand a little bit much more further when it comes to bilateral relations and how it works and so forth. So this was just supposed to be a very quick video where I am explaining the bilateral relations and the reasoning that the government is giving behind their decision, as well as how South Africans are generally feeling. So if you liked the video and if you'd love to see more of such videos, please leave your comment on the comment section down below. And yeah, just let me know what you think. And if you like the content, please like the video and also subscribe to our channel so that you can be able to see much more of such content. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video, and I'll see you in our next upload. Bye.